About that time. UGA Finance is a privately owned financial tech company that started in 2001 in St. Joseph, Missouri. Now, the main office resides in Parkville, Mo, where I and other Northland Caps associates participate in our internships. The office is comprised of mainly cubicles, as you can see in the pictures, but everyone is allowed to decorate them as they please, as well as being given a desk that is able to rise and work out of a standing position. One thing I have found strange about the office is how the bottom two stories of the building is residential housing, while the top two are both UGA and other companies' offices. UGA strives to create an environment where creative minds collaborate to develop solutions to address funding challenges across the market. The section of UGA that I work in is called UAS, short for Universal Accounting System, and believe it or not, we take care of the accounting for UGA. One thing I noticed from the very start of my internship was how UGA treats their employees. They treat them with respect, and everyone in the office enjoys their work and working with one another. One thing I've already taken away from this internship is what a healthy office looks and sounds like. UGA Finance's personal policies. Things I will be going over are hiring, firing, employee grievance, sexual harassment, job promotion, conflict resolution, employee benefits, and sick leave. Let me get myself out of the way. The hiring process goes through HR. It requires a background check, personal interviews as needed, and a rehiring policy. The personal interviews as needed depends on which department you are applying for to work at. You will have to interview with the manager of that area, of that zone that you are working with, and they are who your interview will be with. That's why it's kind of personal. As you need to be interviewed, that's how you'll be interviewed. The rehiring policy is something that I've never really heard of, but if you get an opportunity to go to another company and pursue something that you thought would possibly be better than where you are at currently, but then does not turn out to be as well as you thought it would be, or as good as you thought it would be, UGA will allow you to come back within 60 days and still get all your benefits, all your retirement, everything, all your pay will still be the same as it was before you left the company. For firing, there is no specific process. They like to give chances to employees to make up for the mistakes they've made and fix their problems. They have to solve the issues as possible. Everybody's adults in the building. They treat everybody with a lot of respect and expect them to do well handling one another's and their issues. If there is something big enough, a huge mistake or bad thing happens, then they will take care of it as needed, possibly by firing. Employee grievance and sexual harassment. They have a strict anti-harassment policy. The first thing that happens if sexual harassment has happened is it gets reported to HR. Not only at office-related events is this policy in place, but not only in the office is this policy in place, but at events. So when we here at CAPS went to the casino for a CAPS event, something like that, if something at UGA where they had a event outside of the office, if a sexual harassment scenario happened there, the same rules would still apply. Grievance won't lead to termination, but they will have to fill out an online form and take care of the problem as grown adults would do, talk it out. The real thing with grievance is kind of just hurt your job promotion if you're causing problems in the office, and it just doesn't look good on you. Fun one, Promotion. There's no formal policy. They post their open positions and they encourage advancement opportunities. UGA wants their employees to do the best they possibly can. They want them to go as far as possible, make as much money as possible, because that is what a lot of people are looking for. So they just like they encourage their employees to just go after those opportunities, kind of just try to be a needle in a haystack, just get that opportunity, be the one to succeed and have so much success in your career. Oh, where am I at? There I am. And then finally, benefits and leave. The benefits they have are health insurance and life insurance and retirement. Health insurance and life insurance both are given to you as soon as you start working with UGA. It is competitive plan, so if you had a better plan at a different company, they try to match it the best they can. Retirement, if I recall correctly, starts after 1,000 hours of work with the company. And then they obviously start putting away money for your retirement plan. UGA does not have any sick leave, but they have PTO that starts 60 days after you work. So after you work 60 days, you have, I think it was 14 days if you're full-time and like 6, I want to say, if you're part-time, that you can have pay time off. And yeah, UGA is a great company and their policies are very solid in my opinion.
This is the office where I work. I have a desk in this back left corner right under this arrow, with my supervisor being to my right in this circle. It's his desk. And the CFO of the office, Eric, is in this square cubicle little soundproof box thing. Pretty sure it's soundproof. Not 100% sure though. Couldn't tell you. I'm usually one of the first few people in the office. Some days Eric's in there before me. Other days, just 1 or 2 other employees are in there. But eventually, Aaron comes strutting up the middle, heads over to his desk where he gets to work. He usually doesn't have many people in the office yet, so he doesn't have to take care of anything other than his own information. There he is, just being a chill guy like he is. Eventually, Eric will pop in and talk to some people. A little bit here, a little bit over here. He usually talks for a little while before heading to his office, where he then goes and gets on calls. He has a lot of calls that he takes throughout the day, and then Aaron just is left to watch over everybody. That's a bit of a blurry picture. All right, nice. While Eric takes his calls and does his business in his office, Aaron watches over everybody in the office. He mainly deals with the employees in this left row right here. Not that they are bad or anything, but that is just who works on most of the same files as him. Both Aaron and Eric are very knowledgeable in their fields and have yet to fail me when I have had questions. They have both taught me a lot already and have both been very kind to me as I have started this internship and started growing into a professional. Time to talk with Aaron. What is an essential professional skill for this internship?
I would say an essential skill in any internship is probably communication. Being able to communicate well with the person that you're supervising you, but also all the people that you're working with. Being able to learn things. That's the biggest way you're going to learn things is just that communication piece.
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably the biggest thing that can get you further in your career is being able to communicate effectively with everybody.
How have you mastered that skill?
I wouldn't say I've mastered it. It's something you learn every day. Really it's just working with everybody, and especially, in a business like this, you have a bunch of different teams, a bunch of different people, all different backgrounds, so you just have to go out there and learn how to effectively communicate with them and get the job done.
And what would you say I could do to get better at that skill?
It's something you really just have to put, practice in. You gotta go and you gotta talk to people. You have to learn what works and what doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not something you can really learn outside of actually doing it. You kind of just have to go there and see, I talked to this person, don't think it went very well. What do I need to do to fix it?
Yeah.
So, as I said, the biggest thing is probably practice.
Thank you.
Yep.
So in this video, I'm using Intuit QuickBooks to pull the files from different reports that then get exported into Excel and finally organized into its respective file where it is renamed. So you see right now I'm in QuickBooks. I'm searching up General Ledger, which is one of the reports that I had to pull data out of. Here I'm searching it. It takes a little while sometimes to find them. And then I went just to last year's and pulled last year's for them. It takes a little while to load because this is a bigger file, one of the bigger ones that I worked with. Come on now, load. There it goes. And I'd scroll over, hit export to Excel, and then it'd take a little while also load since it is once again a bigger file. While I'm waiting for it to load, I'll open up my Files app. I'll find the correct file, and I'll also open up the downloads so that I can pull straight from my downloads and drop it right into the file that I need. Where's that file at? Wrong thing. There we go. Here we go, now we're finding it. Then I would take it from my downloads, drag it in, drop it into the file, and then rename it by the naming system that Aaron assigned me with. Usually was the company, so for this one it was UAS. Then the type of file, so General Ledger, and then the year. After I've pulled everything out of QuickBooks, I then started an Excel file, made a new spreadsheet where I organized all of the reports that I've pulled. Start with their company, the type of the file, so there's multiple, like General Ledgers, the one I showed. Also did their general entries, their chart of accounts, chart of vendors, all sorts of things, and also their year and the name of the file. I froze that column so that when you scroll down anywhere, you can see what the section, what each slot is. So then I went through and named it like so. UAS was the company, General Ledger was the type. The actual name of the file was General Ledger, UAS, then General Ledger 2024. Can't type. And obviously 2024 would be the year that it was. Then I'd go through and drag, highlight them, drag, and drop, and it moves everything down to the selected date. So if I say go to, think about 2009 is where these ones went to, so I just drag and drop about where to take it to 2009. I would then repeat this process for each report for 5 different companies. At UGA Finance, I started my day off by checking my mail and getting my computer organized. After that, I would make sure that things are in order with my supervisor. I did not have any daily tasks, but had projects that needed done in a timely manner. The projects I worked on mainly involved transferring data from Intuit QuickBooks to UGA's new accounting software. I also worked in Excel to organize the new and old file numbers after I pulled them from QuickBooks. Some skills I developed while with UGA were self-management and problem solving. Self-management came from my supervisor being occupied with other priorities around the office and me still having to complete my tasks. Through that, I also developed problem solving skills, having to figure out how to complete the task the best way possible while others were occupied. I also had to get proficient in navigating QuickBooks and Excel. My overall experience with UGA was great. At times I was bored and things in the office seemed to go slow, but that will happen in most office jobs. It was hard for them to always have stuff for me to do with the limited amount of time I had with them, but they were still intentional with that time. I was treated very well and would recommend this internship to other Northland Caps associates. Thank you for watching my video over my internship with UGA Finance.